The real problem, the question is the Van Allen radiation belts. Now, Operation Starfish Prime, that was the operation where they detonated a nuke in the radiation belts, right? Didn't they do something like that? Something kooky? They were trying to blow a hole through the radiation belts?
I've heard that. I don't know. It's not confirmed. I don't know.
Yeah, it's secret squirrel stuff. But what is Operations? Google that. What is Operation Starfish Prime? I remember reading that going, they did what? They shot a nuke into space? Starfish Prime is a high-altitude nuclear test conducted by the United States, a joint effort of the Atomic Energy Commission and the Defense Atomic Support Agency. It was launched from Johnson Atoll on July 9, 1962. It was the largest nuclear test conducted in outer space and one of the 5 conducted by the U.S. in space. A Thor rocket carrying a W-49 thermonuclear warhead designed at Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory, and a Mk-2 re-entry vehicle was launched from Johnston Atoll in the Pacific Ocean about 900 miles west-southwest of Hawaii. The explosion took place at an altitude of 250 miles. So is that essentially like where the space station is and all that stuff is?
That's right.
Okay. Above a point 19 miles southwest of Johnson Atoll at a yield of 1.4 megatons. The explosion was about 10 degrees above the horizon as seen from Hawaii at 11 p.m. Hawaiian time. So what was the goal behind this? Or at least what was the publicly stated goal behind blowing up a fucking thermonuke in space?
Well, I guess they were trying to see if they could open up the radiation
That was
in
the
order
idea.
to go to the moon. They knew that the radiation
was
belt...
this connected, though? Was this program connected to NASA officially?
I think they were trying to see if they could open a way for
Look what
an
it says there.
astronaut to go through it.
Look what it says there. Starfish Prime, and this always happens, caused an electromagnetic pulse that was far larger than expected. So much larger that it drove much of the instrumentation off scale, causing great difficulty in getting accurate measurements. The Starfish Prime electromagnetic pulse also made those effects known to public by causing electrical damage in Hawaii about 900 miles away from the detonation point, knocking out about 300 street lights. Holy shit! Setting off numerous burglar alarms and damaging a telephone company microwave link. These boys were wild. They just experimented with a fucking nuclear bomb in space and it blew out 300 streetlights in Hawaii. Shut up. Imagine your burglar alarm goes off because the fucking government launched a nuke into space. Oh, holy shit. The EMP damage to the microwave link shut down telephone calls from Kauai to the other Hawaiian islands. A total of 27 small rockets were launched from Johnson Atoll to obtain experimental data from the Starfish Prime detonation. In addition, a larger number of rocket-borne instruments were launched from Barking Sands, Kauai, in the Hawaiian Islands. A large number of the United States military ships and aircrafts were operating in support of Starfish Prime in the Johnson Atoll area and across the nearby North Pacific region. A few military ships and aircrafts were also positioned in the region of the South Pacific Ocean near Samoan Islands. The location was at the southern end of the magnetic field line of the Earth's magnetic field from the position of the nuclear detonation, an area known as the Southern Conjecture region for the test. So does it say why they were doing it, though?
Let me get a second to look through.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, like, why did you guys do that? give me some sort of a logical explanation why you just took a fucking chance and launched a nuke 250 miles into the sky. Okay, what did they say they were doing? Okay, they began a response to the Soviets' announcement on August 30th of 1961 that they would end a 3-year moratorium on testing. It began in response, right? But why did they do it in space? I understand that they might have did nuclear tests back then because the moratorium was over.
Aliens.
Aliens killed the aliens with nukes. That's probably why the aliens started showing up more. Well, that's all the folklore about Fat Man and Little Boy. Then when they dropped those bombs, that's when the aliens started showing up. Like, hey, what are you doing? Which I would do if I was an alien. That's around the time I would start landing. Like, as soon as they start dropping bombs on cities, like, Jesus Christ. So, we know they did that. That's a real thing. Why'd they do it? The speculation is that they were trying to open up a portal to make passage through the Van Allen radiation belts possible. Now, the people that say that it's easy to go through the Van Allen radiation belts will tell you that it's a donut. it's not like covering the entire sphere of Earth evenly, that there's openings at the top and the bottom. Is this correct?
Well, yeah, but then they would have to launch at the North Pole or South Pole, where it's not possible to launch because of the temperatures.
That's the only way you could do it, to get through those holes?
That's right. According to NASA's own flight plan, they went directly through the center. That's why they launched in southern Florida, to be close to the equator.
Okay, so what they would say is that it's not that dangerous, and it's just like being exposed to a few X-rays, and that the people were shielded.
Well, go to Sabrel.com and watch a
Well,
latest clip
you're right
about
there,
it.
but you're right there. So I want to
Yeah, well,
give you the opportunity.
I'm just saying,
what they would say to you.
the clip there is of Kelly Smith. He's an employee at NASA, explaining something that most people don't know, which is above the Earth, starting at about 1,000 miles and extending about 30,000 miles, is a huge band of radiation that astronauts would have to go through to the moon and through again back. First, he says it's dangerous, meaning deadly, and then he says that the technology for an astronaut to go through it to the moon and back and survive has yet to be invented.
Let's listen to him say that. And when did he say this?
I think he said that in 2014.
Okay. All right.
Navigation and guidance for Orion. We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth, 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send...
Okay. Did you just say that over and over again?
Yeah, he said it was
Okay.
on Orion, though.
Excuse me?
He said it was for Orion. You think he was talking about a different time period. He said you would have to solve it for when Orion was traveling.
When was Orion?
Well, he says he must solve these challenges before we send people
But
through this region of space.
What was he talking about, though? He's
He's talking about sending people beyond Earth orbit through the radiation belt. And he says that...
What was this video from?
What's that?
What's this video from?
Yeah, what is it? When was he said 2014 he was
Yeah, I
talking
think
about
so.
this? And what was this in
The
regards
Orion
to?
project was to have a step toward going to the moon. He's
And what
talking
year
about-
was this? What was the year?
I think he said that in 2014.